You almost forgot a very vital part of being on the radio, which is the mics. So, hey everybody, welcome back to What's Tea Radio. I'm Rachel Spence, and I'm here with my co-host REP. Say what's up.
Hey y'all.
All right, so today on What's Tea Radio, we are going to be talking about relationships once again. But today we're focusing in on a very not special topic, but I feel like it's relevant because we see it all the time, and that is gender roles and double standards in a relationship.
Not even
So
in general, but like especially in
hey Brandon.
like
So go ahead, Ari, because this was on Ari's heart today. Ari was like, I know what we're talking about. So I'm like, okay, what are you talking about? She's like, like female to male. And I said, what?
I didn't remember the
I'm
word.
like, stereotypes? Stereotypes. So we go with stereotypes.
And then it came to me.
It all hit you
Gender roles.
like lightning.
Like a light. But okay, so when we think about, everyday society and the day-to-day things or what we see as norms, we often understand, because it's brought to our attention more times than not, that there are double standards and gender roles play a big part in that, whether it's equal pay in the industry, whether it's sports, entertainment, etc., or if it's things as simple as, just being free will and free spirited. Oftentimes we hear the same narrative that young men are raised to, be free, have options.
Literally, I feel like I said that the other day.
Yeah,
like,
and just be themselves, whereas girls are raised, or we often hear
there's
the
more
narrative
structure.
of females with more structure. Like, sometimes guys aren't raised to have emotion, but in being a female, being raised to have emotion, we're also kind of like raised to be nurturers and to put ourselves behind others. Like, everybody comes before us. We're supposed to be, made to complete somebody, be a homemaker. We aren't always allowed to do the things that we want to do. And, it's the same narrative that we always see. So we're really going to dive deep into that and get down to the nitty gritty, because I feel like it's something that needs to be spoken about. And it's something that we need to break, because it's definitely a generational curse, and it gets worse and worse through the years. So it's something we have to talk about to see change.
I feel that. I feel like that's what I was saying the other day. We were just talking about men in general, and I made the point that, this new generation, the 90s babies, we need to make sure that we raise our children to understand that, like, there's certain gender roles we need to let go of. And we need to raise our men to understand that, oh, I'm a guy is not a legitimate excuse to be acting crazy.
Or to
like,
be controlling.
Exactly. Like, I'm a guy is not an excuse, because I could do things and say I'm a woman, and it wouldn't be
It's
valid.
not validated.
So why is, oh well, I'm a boy, so this needs to happen, or well, I'm a boy, so this is typical for us. Yeah, it's typical, but that doesn't make it right. So we need to make sure that this generation that we bring up, that I'm a man, not a real excuse.
That's not something that can solidify any form of validation. It's not something to excuse, unique behavior, I would like to call it, or to, I don't know. I just feel like with being a man, people demand control, they demand respect, and I'm more so the person where it's like, to how much is concerned, much is given. I feel like people, because they're young men, they feel like they don't have to work towards things. And if they do, it's just, I don't want to say it's given to them, because, everybody works hard.
Right.
But it's just an easier path than being a woman.
Yeah.
And when a man makes an excuse, it's okay. But when a female makes an excuse, and I'm putting it in air quotes, because there's certain things that we can't control as women that men don't understand, but anything that we say, it's not valid. there's no validation behind anything we say.
Because I feel like even if it's a legitimate excuse, like I feel like even like, for example, like with like physical features, like nobody's born asking for the body shape that they have, especially as women. So like, yes, you can make a conscious effort to like dress your size or like dress modestly, but sometimes it's difficult, especially as you're like getting older. So like covering up isn't always an option, I feel. Like, you know, I feel like there's ways to like, I don't know, like I always had a difficult time in high school, you know, like being trendy and being like covered at the same time. And it was like, you know, it's not my fault. I am the way I am and I look the way I look. Like I was born this way. So it's like sometimes a girl isn't dressing a certain way to like put themselves out there. Of course there are females who do that. And like you can see who is doing what. But sometimes it's like I'm not looking this way or I'm not dressing this way to bring attention to myself. I just literally put on clothes and it looks the way it looks. Like that's not my fault. But with men, it's like, you know, sometimes I mean, I don't know how to, I'm trying to put this the right way. It's more laid back. Like if a man posts a picture on Instagram or Snapchat or wherever with no shirt on, we're just like, ooh, like, yes, typical men things. But like if a girl does that, it's like, whoa, like what is she doing? Like what kind of attention is she trying to get?
I feel like we need to break the statistic of people posting freely, especially as young ladies. Like we can post something, whether it's like Rachel said, a gym picture, like post-workout, or even sometimes pre-workout, or, you know, just something that we want to post in general. There's this idea that in certain actions that female does, it kind of draws attention, and they do it in order to draw that attention. There's no, okay, well, maybe this person just wanted to put this up, or maybe this person just posted this for a reason outside of attention. And I feel like that's another generational curse that we need to break, and which is over-sexualizing stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Or over-analyzing.
Definitely.
Because I've seen this many times before, especially with the arising of all these like allegations surfacing, especially in the entertainment world. People like to, you know, justify certain things that I personally don't feel is okay by saying, you know, well, you dress the way that you want to be looked upon, or you dress the way that you wanted to be given that attention, which I disagree with. I don't
know. I'm half with that argument.
Like, for example, people say, all right, well, if your skirt is above your knee, then you're wanting a certain kind of
like,
attention.
No.
Like, see, I understand what they're saying, and I agree to an extent, but I feel like it's used to, like, it's strictly used, and there's no like leeway, no leniency.
And it's used to defend the wrong people, because I feel like there are certain situations, I don't know, when it comes to dressing, it's just know your audience and know what you're dressing for. Like, don't show up to, you know, a corporate office in a tight up skirt. Like that's not doing nothing for you. But like if you wear a tight skirt to a party, or like to the club, or like to an industry mixer, I don't know, like that doesn't entitle people to like just do what they want with you freely.
Yeah, because, you know, even like what you said earlier, sometimes it's hard for people to find clothes to fit them proportionately. You might go into a store and they have your size, but because of the way it's cut or seamed or made, it may snug on your body a little tighter than you expect. But if you go one size up, it's too big.
Especially jeans.
One size down,
jeans, man. Somebody needs to make jeans for real women, because like I think it's the most difficult thing in the world to find jeans. It's like they're too short, they're too long. They might get up, but then they don't button, or they might get up, but then there's this little flap in the back, or they're too cropped, they're too ripped. The rip isn't on my knee; it's above my knee, so it feels weird. It's jeans.
Jeans are difficult.
Jeans are really difficult. Brandon said toxic masculinity got to go.
I agree.
That I very much agree with.
That part. Somebody asked for us to dive into the topic of, you know, I don't know how to say this. I'm trying to stay mission consistent.
Let me see what
she basically said the stereotype of men being the man for talking to multiple people, whereas young women talking to multiple people lead to, the rest.
Oh, okay. Well, basically, you're saying that like it's cool for men to be womanizers.
Yeah.
And it's bad for a woman. Is menonizer a word? We're making it a word today. It's bad for a woman to be bad for men. What am I saying? It's bad for women to be menonizers, but it's good for men to be womanizers.
And that goes back to my point where I said, people raise up boys and men because, you go from a boy to a man. We raise them in a way in which, it's okay to talk to multiple people. You want to talk to somebody older than you? Go ahead. You want to talk to somebody younger than you? Go ahead. There's no restrictions. There's no limitations.
But like with girls, it's like
it's very structured and it's concise and it's to the point. When you grow up, you're okay. You're allowed to have feelings, but make sure that you stick to the status quo. Make sure that you stay within that box. Some people are lucky enough to be raised in a way that, you're told, all right, well, this is what society wants, but it's okay to break a barrier a few times.
Right.
And that's why I feel like it's up to our generation to break this curse, because we see it time and time and time again. In my mom's days, we had Tupac saying, we're going to have a race of babies that will hate the ladies that have the babies. And we're seeing it come to fruition.
And literally, that's right now. It's like a joke a running joke on Instagram. Like, oh, thank you. This wing had to be extra sharp today. Sorry. But, it's like a joke like, oh, like, I'm the only guy who doesn't have any kids, or like all the women around me have kids.
It's like a baby mama, baby daddy
like
culture.
It's, first of all, we're in our 20s. So at this point, if people have children, it's not a problem. Like, maybe you're not where you want to be in your life, but if you happen to have a child or get pregnant, like, it's not the end of the world. Right. So stop making people make you feel like you are less than because you got pregnant in your 20s and even in your teens. I mean, the thing is, I feel like even then it's, it's early, but if it happens, it happens. Right. But don't make people make you feel bad about it. Like, things happen.
Everything happens for a reason. And like I said, my God.
It's just funny to me because the men that are bashing the women that are actually having kids right now, who may or may not be with the father of the child, are the same ones out here being with these women. So it's like, don't talk about them. It wasn't a problem when y'all lie down together.
Don't throw stones from a glass house. Basically.
Amen.
Basically,
amen.
Don't.
I felt the spirit on that one. Ow, my knee.
Do not. And I mean, that goes for everything, even amongst what we're talking about as far as gender roles and, the double standard. Do not throw rocks from a glass house.
Right.
Don't worry about what somebody else is cooking in their kitchen when your kitchen is on the verge of burning down.
Oh.
Stick to
the pot too hot.
Stick to what concerns you.
Yeah.
Like, people are too...
And I feel like it's the funniest part to me is the ones that are on social media talking the most about women, relationships, are the same ones that are at home bitter, single, because they don't want to work on themselves and grow as people. They're too busy worried about everybody else and what they're doing. We were
speaking on this the other day. Too many people want to be social media philosophers.
Mm-hmm. Just study your books and mind your business.
Stay in your lane and mind your own business. Do not concern yourself in what does not concern you.
Right.
Do not throw those rocks, because if push comes to shove, you never know what journey you're going to take. You never know who you're speaking to. The same person that might be down and out and are going through all these struggles, trials, and tribulations can be somebody that blossoms up from the fire and becomes your boss. And then what are you going to say?
Exactly.
You never know who you're surrounded with.
The unnecessary conflict, it's like you really don't know who you may cross paths with later on in life. So don't burn bridges unnecessarily. We're going into something completely different from double standards. But, when we get into it, we get into it. Yeah. But bringing it back to the double standards in a relationship. Mm-hmm. So one thing that definitely bothers me when it comes to the whole like
I'm the male.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's just
alpha male. It's the alpha male mechanism.
Right. When I tell you Ari really be taking the words out of my mouth, she always takes the words out of my mouth. But no, it's true. It's just like I'm not the type of person that like I want to be in a relationship where it's like, you know, you can tell me what to do, like if I need guidance, or, you know, you can tell me what to do if you come correct. But like, you're not the boss of
You
me.
want to know what just came to my mind when you said that? I just made up my own quote. Be my peace, not my parental guidance.
No, but it's true because literally, like,
people don't know boundaries and they don't understand to draw the lines. Because I was watching Red Table Talk earlier because, you know, she just dropped that episode with Wale.
Oh, I was about to say with Jordan already?
No.
That was like 3 days ago.
It was the episode with Wale, and they were trying to discover and, basically unpack what it is that men want and what men look for in love. And in watching that episode, it dawned on me that, you know, men don't know what they want, or even if they know they don't know what they want, they place these, you know, expectations on people, what they feel is an idealistic person for them.
Right.
And Jada said it on Red Table Talk. She said, oftentimes men basically want to shape you in a way in which they know that you can only be for them. And that hit me.
It did.
Because, you know, often nobody knows what they want in this life.
They don't, but I feel like women are more likely to take the time to try to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because like, even like, we talk about relationships a lot like within our friend circle. And I feel like one thing we always stress is just being like taking time to yourself.
Be your own
and
entity.
Taking time to yourself to try your best to fully understand who you are as an individual. And of course, you're not going to figure that out overnight. But when you're alone and you're not worried about pleasing somebody else, you're just like solely focused on yourself, you're able to better understand what you want and what you need. And sometimes those needs aren't always the wants, but it's still a necessity. Right. So I feel like, even for me personally, I've been single for a long time. And now that I'm actually in something, I feel like it's better for me because I've taken the time to understand what I want and what I need. And the things like I don't like, I feel like sometimes it's not even that they don't work. It's just the things that like I don't like. It's not that I don't like it. It's just it's there because I need it. It's not there because like this is gonna be the most flowery, fun part of it all. Right. But it's just, I feel like and I'm not saying all men, because I'm not speaking from a general standpoint, right. But I'm saying from what I've seen, men are less likely to take that time and try to figure out, okay, I need a girl who's going to do this. Like they focus on like the social media stuff. Like, I need a girl who's loyal, but okay, are you reciprocating that energy at all? Like, you want a girl who's gonna ride for you, die for you, do all this stuff, but you want her and her. So how many hers you want being loyal for you when you can't even be loyal to one her yourself? That don't even no. You know what? All right, take the mic because I'm about to get mad now.
And I agree with what you're saying. Oftentimes, males want all these sacrifices to be made for them, but aren't willing to make any sacrifices because it goes back to the alpha male mechanism. Oftentimes, males feel like, you know what, they should be in control. When in all actuality, a relationship should be 50-50. Mm-hmm. Because prior to the relationship even starting, you should understand, and we, you know, discussed this in a prior episode, you are one person. You come into a relationship not to be half and half. You come into the relationship to be two you. Wholes. You're supposed to be wholeheartedly you, accepted for your flaws, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And you're supposed to do the same for that other person. Mm-hmm. 1 and 1 is supposed to make 2, not 0.5 and 0.5 to equal 1.
And I always say, especially to my female friends, but I feel like men need to do it too. Mm-hmm. Stop trying to change the person that you're with, because if they were for you, they would work however they are. Because even as, you know, flawed people, it'll still work. So stop trying to. And the thing is, there are youth.
Yeah, we're in our 20s, our early 20s at that. Enjoy your youth. Do fun things.
Right.
Be spontaneous.
Enjoy life. Go on dates. Like, stop trying to still with this whole like Netflix and chill philosophy. Like, actually go outside, go to the park, like
take a walk,
take a run. Like, there's mad free things you can do as a couple.
Bacon, egg, and cheese in the Arizona and come back.
And make sure you're in the relationship for the right reasons. Right. Like, now we going way off from double standards, but
It
I just feel like, okay, so this was a point that Kalissa's boyfriend made when we were making our Grey Leggings Talk video. So if you haven't watched Grey Leggings Talk, be sure to check out
definitely,
me and Ari's YouTube channels, Rachel Esther and the Page TM, to catch part 1 and 2 of the Grey Leggings Talk, where we definitely talk about relationships, we talk about family, we talk about it all. So if you haven't, go pre that. Yes, but the first time we tried to film that, a point Kareem brought up that I thought was really funny, but I'm gonna bring it up now, is cheating, right? So he said that when men cheat, they may not mean it as much, or they don't do it with the intention to like hurt somebody, but like when women cheat, they do it with a vengeance. Like they do it and they'll like go cheat with like his best friend or something. Like they do it and they're trying to hurt somebody,
to be spiteful or malicious.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, first of all, I disagree because of this. We have to stop generalizing the sexes. Not all men are the same and not all females are the same. But in his instance, yes, you do come across a few females who may, decide to cheat or step out of their relationship for malicious reasons. But then in some instances, like there are females who are able to be emotionally detached. We don't all have the same traits. And then going into males, there are males who do things maliciously too, because, I've seen this firsthand, in my personal life. I've seen young men, be in a relationship with a girl and then go talk to her best friend or even a family member. Yeah. And vice versa for both sexes. So we have to stop with this generalization of the sex because, everybody has their good, everybody has their bad. So both sexes can cheat to be spiteful, but in the same instance, both sexes can cheat emotionally. Mm-hmm. And cheating is not just the sexual, the intimate. Cheating is a text that you wouldn't want your partner to see if they were to go to your phone. Anything that you would not do in the presence of your partner is cheating.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I feel like it's just a matter of like what you define as cheating and that level of transparency you have with your partner.
And I feel like people need to learn how to become more transparent, more understanding.
Exactly.
Listen.
Let them know like the ins and outs of what's really like. I don't know, because I know for me, like one thing that I do that's a really bad habit is I keep a lot of my thoughts to myself. Same. And like it's just like because I'm such a blunt person, sometimes I don't want things to come out the wrong way. Yep. So I just keep a lot of my thoughts to myself. And I feel like when you're in a relationship, yes, you don't have to say everything, but like to build transparency, you have to be able to not keep all your thoughts to yourself. Like you have to let them know like what you're thinking, because these men cannot read your mind, and I'm sure they're not necessarily gonna understand everything that you're saying. But the fact that you made an effort and the fact that you're communicating, it makes life easier for the both of you. But on Kareem's cheating point, I understand where he's coming from, because I get it, because I feel like I'm not a cheater and I will never resort to doing that just because I would never want anybody to do that to me. So I'm not going to put that in the atmosphere. But if I were to, I would make sure it hurts. And I would probably be doing it for vengeance. I wouldn't be doing it because I want to break up. Like if I wanted to break up, I would just break up. But if I'm doing it to get back at you, then I would make sure I hit you where it hurts, because you hurt me by cheating on me in the first place. But I don't believe in doing stuff like that, because I don't believe in playing tit for tat. If you tit, I'm out. So there's no tat back. Like that's it. But I could see, I could understand what he's saying, but like, do I agree? Nah.
I was gonna like give a rebuttal, an argument to what you said, but it completely slipped my mind. But I just feel as though not only do we have to stop the tit for tat, we need to really understand as a generation that there's two sides to everything. There's two sides to a coin, heads and tail. There's two sides to a card. There's two sides to everything. So sit there and listen. And if you want to be in a relationship with whomever you want to be with, love freely and do what makes you happy. Love is love at the end of the day. Wrong, right, and different. But I just feel as though when it comes to relationships, do not go in with gender roles. Do not go in with bias, because we're all human and we all have feelings and we all just want to be understood and we want to be at peace. And in, coming to a point and a place that, we are in peace and at peace, I feel as though there needs to be transparency, as we mentioned, and there needs to be mutual understanding, because oftentimes females are more likely to change and conform themselves into what a person wants, because they get encaptured into this fairy tale,
and they don't want to make the wrong move.
They don't want to make the wrong move, or they don't want to. They feel like they've been with this person, or they invested so much time, or even if it was a little bit of time, they feel like there's really something with this person. So what? In order to keep them, I'm just gonna change myself. And I feel like that's something females should stop doing, because I know I've done it before.
I feel like we've all had that,
we've all had that
one
moment.
person that you just like.
Right.
You were just so goo gaga, like
right.
you were willing to do.
You get lost. You
like
get caught up in the
you like red. I'm gonna wear red every day. Like
right.
I don't even like red.
Right.
But I feel like that's something that comes with maturity and experience, though.
And something that comes with learning yourself and learning to love yourself.
Yeah, because if you fully
yourself, Go ahead.
No, if you fully love yourself, well, not even fully love yourself, because that's something that
it's a journey.
You continues to grow every single day.
And people need to learn that too. A relationship is never going to stay in the same place. Relationships are roller coaster rides. Friendships, relationships, family situations. Everybody grows each day. So a relationship that you have is going to grow each day, because you're constantly figuring out something new. It's constantly a new revelation that you might come across, or something that you don't like that you come across. And that's something that people understand. People just want everything to be stagnant and at one scope. Everybody wants everything to be on a plateau, but you're going to hit your peaks. You're going to hit your pits.
And people don't understand that, like, not everything is going to be the honeymoon phase. Like when life starts getting real, that honeymoon phase fades away, and you guys can have good moments a lot. Like you can have a good relationship where you don't argue all the time, but there will be an argument one day, especially the more complex things get, the older you are. Like when you move in together, when you have children, when you get married, like when you have bills to pay, like things are going to get harder. Exactly. Not everything is worth an argument. And I feel like a lot of these younger relationships where, we don't have real life problems yet. Like we're not worried about bills and putting food on table and taking care of kids. Some people are, but like
for the most part.
us in college right now, just, in these college relationships, I feel like our problems are not as real. We still have our home problems and our family issues, and some people do have real problems, but the conflict within your relationship is not stemming from those outside problems. The conflict in your relationship is from like little things, and I feel like those types of arguments, of course, they're worth having, because it's in the earlier stages that you have to set those standards. Like, okay, well, if this is to come up again, I'm not dealing with this. Or if this is to not come up again, just make sure it doesn't come up again. Like you have to set those boundaries early on in your relationship, but you also have to understand what's worth not, like what's worth actually spending the time arguing, going back and forth for, because not everybody is getting a reaction from me. I'm sorry. Like you might be really upset about something, but if you want to tell me, explain to me, that's cool. But if I don't agree, I don't agree, like, but I'm still going to listen to your point.
Sometimes you have to agree to disagree.
Exactly.
And just because somebody has a counter argument or a rebuttal does not mean that they're invalidating how you feel. You can validate how somebody feels and understand somebody, but still just know, okay, I see where you're coming from with this, that, and third, but me personally, I don't agree. I don't, but I still understand you and I'm hearing you, and I'm gonna work to, fit myself into this, or like try to come into a middle ground.
Yeah.
Right? But you can't always expect somebody to just follow what you want, because now this is not a relationship. This is a dictatorship. And I want to be a Democrat.
We live in a democracy, so I am not having a dictatorship for a relationship.
That's just some humor, everybody's, has the right to their own political view.
Exactly.
But just like,
and going off of what you said about changing yourself to
Right.
be in a
Before you
relationship.
even say anything, I want to say this before I forget.
Okay, go ahead.
Your trauma, whether it's past, something you're still working on, or something you're scared of, do not implicate your trauma into your relationship. And if you feel as though outside traumas are, appearing in your relationship, talk about it. Go to the counseling center on campus. I've done it before.
Mm-hmm.
Use your resources and know how to use them. But don't think because you're in a relationship with someone that they're the only person, or they're the first person that's supposed to fix your problems. Because we all have our skeletons in our closet and we all have issues, but we can't put those issues onto somebody else.
Right.
And I feel like we need to learn to heal ourselves and find healing, or find solace, or even find, outlets. But don't think that because you're in a relationship now, that's your sole outlet. Do what you love who you love, but do it in a way where both people are happy, and both
Right.
people are in the middle ground, and it's not one person making more sacrifices than the other.
Because I feel like there's a lot of times, people get into relationships, or they're looking for relationships because they just want a notebook. Like, they want somebody to tell all their problems, and it's like sometimes they're not even going to give you advice. They're not even going to help you through it. You just want somebody to talk to. But seek that from your friends, or seek, professional help if necessary. Because at the end of the day, yes, your partner does need to know, what goes through your head, what you've been through, to better understand why you are the way you are. But that is not their responsibility to make you whole again. Like, they can't fix that. And I feel like what I was about to say about, changing yourself for somebody else, and changing yourself and growing as a person, make sure you're not relying on the other person to make you like
Who you want to be.
make you who you want to be. Of course, they can help you and they can put you in a better position to, get where you want to be in life. But don't make it somebody's responsibility to fix you. It's not their responsibility to fix you. It's your responsibility to fix you. And guess what? You will be fixed, but you have to take the necessary steps, other than texting, your significant other these long paragraphs about, what's going on in life. That might help you for the moment. That's a temporary fix, but you need long-term help.
Healing.
And not only that, I just feel like like the issues with, like, okay, like, for example, people always complain about having trust issues. I think I've heard the "I have trust issues" argument like 10 billion times within my lifespan, and like, I have only talked to so many men, but like, I've just heard it so many times, and it's like, you don't want me to help you fix your trust issues, right? And then because of something some other girl from the 6th grade did, made you have trust issues, right? Where are we going to build trust? Like, when will we build trust?
Right.
What am I supposed to do to help you to trust me? Because at the end of the day, I feel like,
even if you don't say it, it shows.
exactly. And it will always show. Like, your actions, when people say actions speak louder than words, I hear those actions. I really hear those actions. Because if you don't trust somebody, like, trust is just an example, but like, if you don't trust somebody, you can tell me like, yeah, I trust you, but like, the littlest thing I do, if based on how you react, I could see whether or not you trust somebody. And the thing is, trust, being sound in your relationship, being comfortable with your partner, secure with your partner, all those things show based on your actions. Yeah. Oh no, because especially I feel like with men, there's a lot of men I've dealt with who are very insecure, and it shows. And they just didn't know what to do because I'm secure in myself and you're insecure. So it's like, there's no problem that you're insecure. We can work past that. But if you can't ever acknowledge that, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, and once again, it's not my job to fix you, but we're not getting anywhere because you don't trust me, not even because of me or my actions, but because you're not secure in yourself. And because you're not secure in yourself, it shows.
We need to learn how to be wholeheartedly honest with ourselves and with others. But to kind of wrap this up, and it's the last day of February, so it's the last day of Black History Month, and we're transitioning into Women's History Month. But I say that to say, gender roles and double standards have been around for generations and generations, and it's something we truly need to fix. So instead of aiming to be a social media or entertainment couple, strive to be the Coretta to somebody's Martin, or the Martin to someone's Coretta, the Michelle to somebody's Barack, or the Barack to someone's Michelle. There's so many couples of power that people forget because, they're not in the limelight, they're not in the spotlight. But instead of following what you feel is going to generate the attention that you want or generate the clout that you want, learn to be an additive. Learn to be somebody who on your own you're strong, but when you guys are together, it's something even undeniably stronger.
Like you said, we got a lock.
We got a lock.
And we got a key, but you got to be the rhinestones
on the lock.
On the lock.
Yeah.
No, but like you said, I feel like at the end of the day, let's try our best to let go of certain just gender roles within a relationship. Let's try our best to, let go of these like stereotypical things that we're allowing to hinder us from having real love and real relationships.
And not even just in relationships, in the industry.
Yeah.
Everybody is equal. Everybody is human. No gender, no race, no anything should dictate who is better than who, because we're all equal, we're all human, we all have emotions, and at the end of the day, behind our characteristics and our traits and our personality and our outside physical appearance, from ashes we started and to ashes we will return, and at the end of the day, all of our skeletal systems are the same. Inside we are all the same, so let's move like on the inside we are all the same.
Amen. And on that note, we are done talking about our little gender and stereotypes. Thank you guys for tuning in today. I want to wish everybody a very happy Black History Month. It was good.
It was a great month.
I feel like I don't know. It didn't. It always feels like Black History Month because I know I love Black History Month, but I feel like, people didn't do a lot this Black History Month. Well, you know what? We don't even have time to talk about that. But I would just like to shout out some people that I feel like are making Black history. Shout out to us, because we just are making strides as two young Black students trying to do what we do. Shout out to who else can we shout out? Oh, yeah. Okay.
So that's What's Tea Radio, episode 3, gender roles and double standards. We'll catch you Thursdays at 5
from La Penta Basement. Boom. Other people.